In Diablo 2, people often just focus on the endgame, best in slot, max level builds, etc., but only rarely on how you get there. So today we're going to move forward from what we did with the low-level runewords video a while back into a full series of progression-focused videos by looking at the best sets you can find in every part of, at least, in normal difficulty, some of which have potential usefulness even in the endgame. So from just generally good to the situationally useful, let's dive on in. First up, the most broadly useful and probably most easily recognizable set, the Saigon set, containing solid resist, bumps to stats, and just general usefulness, combined with one of the earliest sources of a plus skill shield. While just generally good in most of its individual parts, Saigon's especially shines with a combination of 3 parts, usually found by combining the gloves and boots with your choice of a third, likely the belt for potion slots, the helmet for attack rating, or the shield for blocking and the skill point. With combinations, you'll get a nice mix of attack speed, magic find, and lifesteal that can be useful for any class with a melee component, and even some that don't have a melee component. The other just broadly useful set, and a bit less popular, might be a little bit harder to find due to sharing items with other sets, and that is the Alzorath set, or as I tend to look at it, the Resistance set, and I'm always happy to find them. While it does provide other bonuses with added parts, Alzoraths will often be best used to fill in the gaps in resistances, with the full set even giving a boost to maximum resistances, allowing you to reach 85% resist all, which is a great boon at reducing the amount of damage you will take as you get further into the game from, well, spells and stuff like that. With the 2 just generally good sets out of the way, we can dive into the partial but still useful sets. First up, one that you'll likely only use for a while but is great for early magic find, Tancred's Amulet, paired with one other part of, well, any other part of the set for a solid 78% magic find. It's usually paired with the boots for faster run walk, but sometimes you'll see someone put the helmet on for resistances and that 10% extra damage, depending on what you need. It's all around pretty good to just throw in there for early magic finding. The other partial set that new players rarely know about or even look at because it just seems kind of dull on the surface, but that will sometimes often find itself sneakily thrown into builds designed for killing the uber bosses even, is the Angelic set, often paired just ring and amulet for an amazing attack rating boost of 12 points per level per ring, which can get up to ludicrous heights, especially whenever you start getting percent boost to attack rating. Though if you're a normal or even nightmare, you can actually use the sword or armor in addition to these to get yourself an extra 100% magic find between the rings, and well, you also get a plus skill on the amulet if you have that as part of it. And yeah, you still get the attack rating as well. As far as standalone set items that are actually really good, just in general, those are going to be kind of like honorable mentions, I guess, since they're not really paired with other things, but they're going to be some basic set items that are good for people who want to go into nightmare difficulty and have had just a little bit of time grinding. So generally speaking, these are going to be Cathin's Ring, which is a great source of 6% life leech, really useful early on. It has a little bit of damage reduction on it. Not too amazing as far as set bonuses go, but it's still a 6% life leech ring you can take into nightmare, especially good if you're doing a lot of physical damage. Next up is Cleglaw's Gloves with Slow and Knockback, which are great tools for ranged characters, though sadly lacking in attack speed, so you'll have to make that up somewhere else. But still, Slow and Knockback is an amazing combo for, say, a Boazon or even a Javazon who is currently going through with Poison or something like that through Normal and Nightmare. After that, we have Siverb's Cudgel with its scaling max damage, which can be one of your stronger options for early melee weapons, even through Nightmare, and it's especially fun on a Zealot or even a Mace Barbarian. Yes, Scepters do get bonuses from Mace Barbarians' Mace Mastery, so it is a good weapon there. And finally, you have Infernal Wand with +1 skills for Necromancers with only a level 5 requirement. If you find this, save it for whenever you make a Necromancer. It's not uncommon to find it on Necromancers until they can afford to buy a +2 Necro Wand in late Nightmare into Hell, or even just low-level Necromancers trying to make it through with a little bit of extra plus skills for either their summons or their Poison Bone skills. If this was helpful, hit that like button and stay tuned since normal uniques are up next, as well as some Nightmare and Beyond sets, and we'll cover most newbie and veteran things.